Yeah, surprise, surprise. California State University. Uh, there's liberal professors there? Really?
I know, I was so surprised when I learned that.
Yeah, talk about being thrown out of the pan into the fire. So, Vanessa, I want to hear the story. How did you get interested in apologetics?
So I'm a cradle Catholic. My mother, side of the family is Catholic. My father's isn't, but they promised to raise us as Catholics. So we would do like the Easter, Christmas masses growing up, and we weren't really that involved in the church. We went through our sacraments and everything, but it wasn't until I turned 18 years old I started dating this guy, and he was a Protestant Christian. And he basically told me that if we ever got married, my kids weren't going to be able to be Catholic and we weren't going to celebrate Halloween. And I was devastated. So I decided that I wanted to teach him about the faith and possibly convert him. And I knew nothing about the faith. Like, he'd ask me questions about confession, he'd ask me questions about the Virgin Mary, and I had no clue what he was talking about. So I just started researching the faith and I wanted to teach him to possibly maybe convert him.
Hmm.
And I decided one way that I could do this was if I made YouTube videos, if he was going to be my supportive boyfriend, he would have to watch my YouTube videos. And he would, but unfortunately, he would watch them on mute. So I don't think he ever learned anything from what I taught him. And then when we
Uh,
broke up, when I turned 21, I was left with a YouTube channel that I didn't know what to do with. And so I just decided to continue making content. And I really, really fell in love with teaching and defending the faith. And I fell in love with all of the apologists out there. And I realized that I may actually have a knack for it. So that's how I got into apologetics.
that's awesome. Yeah, so you've been doing this for quite a while then. I mean,
Yeah.
putting content out there and everything. So it started off with YouTube with your boyfriend. What was the response? Did it grow quickly at first, or did it take a while before people started finding your channel?
At first, it took off like for me, I still only have 7,000 subscribers. So in the first few months, I got a few hundred, and it was really because another Catholic YouTuber was pushing out my videos and was being super supportive. And then throughout the years, I had people like Keith Nestor would like push out my content to his viewers. Trent Horn, I wrote him an email and he sat down with me and he did an interview, and he has tweeted about my content before. So it's been really the word of mouth and just having these other great apologists recommend my content that really helped me grow and really helped me feel inspired and encouraged to continue what I'm doing because I am a younger person, and so a lot of times people don't want to hear what I have to say. And so I get dismissed a lot for that. And so just having their support and having the support of my followers has been really amazing for me and so much encouragement.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, for me, like younger people don't listen to me because I'm an old guy. But like my kids and the younger friends, they would tune into you because, they could relate to you more than me. So it's kind of like the grass is always greener on the other side. But I've been watching some of your content, and man, you're great. You're so articulate and well researched, and
Thank
just
you.
great stuff. So yeah, absolutely. So I know a lot of people when they're challenged by non-Catholics, especially with you. I knew some friends that were in the exact same situation. They were dating Protestants. Protestants say, the kids aren't going to be Catholic if we get married. Some of them just assume that, well, whatever they're saying is true because I love them. Why would they lie? And they leave the Catholic Church. Like, why do you think you decided to dig in and find out what the Catholic Church has to say for itself?
Well, I'm very stubborn and I always think that I'm right. And growing up, actually, I forgot to mention this. So my mother is from a family of 8 children, and all of them were raised Catholics, but only two of them remained Catholics. So growing up, all of my cousins were Protestants or what they would consider themselves as born again Christians. So when I was younger, they would like repeat what their parents or the pastors would tell them about Catholics. And I didn't know there was a difference between Catholics and Protestants. So when we'd have little family events, my cousins would tell me that I was going to hell. And I was like, makes sense. I'm a sinner. Like, isn't that like I sin? And I didn't understand the point that they were trying to make to me. And so basically throughout my entire life, I was challenged for being Catholic, but I didn't really know that I was being challenged. I was just thinking like, oh, they're just pointing out the obvious that I sin. And I also attended a Lutheran school for 10 years, so that was a little bit of a challenge as well. And so received pushback a lot throughout my years, but once again, I'm stubborn. And I also think my parents are right too. So when they tell me something, I'm like, okay, I trust you guys. So because they would attack it, I would just push back harder and harder. So it makes our family gatherings a little bit harder right now because the thing is that like they assume that Catholics don't know their faith, and then they have this niece who loves to argue, loves to debate. I'll like at my most recent family gathering, I was debating about sour cream and how I don't think it's essential and on any dishes. And I got in this huge argument with everyone about it. So I love arguing and debating, but now they have this niece who will just argue to the death about Catholicism at family gatherings.
Yeah, that's awesome. So looking into apologetics, you're trying to find the answers to put videos to convince your boyfriend about Catholicism. Where were some places that you started, just in case there's people out there like you who maybe they're receiving some pushback and they want to start looking into things?
I thought it was going to be so hard finding like info. I remember the first question he asked me was about confession. And he's like, "Where's confession in the Bible?" And I thought to myself, "Oh man, it probably isn't." I had never opened my Bible other than in like Bible study in school. And so I was just like, "Oh man, I'm never going to find the answer to this question." So I quickly just went to Google and typed in confession in the Bible Catholic. Make sure to add like Catholic at the end of that. And Catholic.com, so the Catholic Answers website came up. I remember the first few books that I picked up were by Patrick Madrid, and he has like these small little handbooks that goes like, "Where is this in the Bible?" And then another one I can't remember the name of. My mother got me "Behold Your Mother" by Tim Staples. That was one of my first apologetics books. And I realized I love collecting books, like Catholic books. I have like a bookshelf. That's actually how I started my channel, was that I had like 20 books that were by all these Catholic authors. And I was just like, let me just show viewers on the internet about what I own. And people like them. So I started this series on my channel called Catholic Book Hauls. So I would just like run to the thrift store, pick up a used Catholic book for like $2 or $3 and just read it. So like honestly, first and foremost, your Bible, the Catechism of the Catholic Church, which I was surprised about because those footnotes are amazing. Like they tell you everything we believe and where it is in the Bible or where it is in early church documents. So the Bible, the Catechism of the Catholic Church, Catholic.com if you don't want to pick up any books. But there's so many now great resources on the internet. Like there's so many Catholic YouTubers out there who are trying to relay the information in a way that other people will understand. Because sometimes someone will explain something to me and I'll go right over my head. But then I figure like, okay, I'm kind of a dummy. I'm kind of an airhead. I crash into everything. And so if this dummy airhead can like explain something like in like little ways that people can understand, I think that the internet's a great place to check out. But be mindful because there's a lot of liars on the internet. But the Bible, the
Yeah.
Catechism of the Catholic Church, Catholic.com, and Catholic YouTubers or creators on the internet.